And welcome to another edition of Waggoner Webcast Live. I'm your host, Brian Bushlack. Glad you could join us wherever you may be on this Thursday evening. And great to have Mark Bunzel back in the home office with us tonight, along with Leonard and Lorena Landon at Waggoner Guide headquarters in Anacortes. And great to see everybody. Glad you could join us. And Mark, great to have you home safely. Give us an update and a recap of your trip. Sounds pretty amazing.
Well, the sun was shining, the boats were great. We only had one problem with one head and one cabin out of 5 heads. And as anybody who's a true boater knows, that's going to happen.
Yeah.
I would use the word, but we're a family show. It happens. Anyway, our group just had a fantastic time. Nobody got severely sunburned. There was plenty of snorkeling at the baths. The restaurants were just fantastic. The rum was flowing. It was all good. And I'm looking forward to going back again in November. That ought to be just right. It'll be late fall and hopefully hurricane season will be over and we'll have another great trip to the BVI.
Well, I know Leonard and Lorena have a ton of updates for us. We'll get to them in just a second, but I want to ask you first, we'll talk more about your upcoming Alaska cruise here in a bit, but let's talk about the 4th edition of the Douglas Guide, exploring the south coast of BC.
Well, we've updated it. As many people know, Don and Rianne Douglas are no longer with us. And interestingly enough, Leonard and Lorena stepped up and said, we'll take on the job of keeping it updated, which is just fantastic. And I have to give them credit that they're out there doing this out of a labor of love and want to do something that is really important to the cruising public. The Douglas guides have so much detail of the anchorages. It goes beyond the Waggoner guide for those people who are looking for that kind of information. And I'm just thrilled that they've taken on and they're doing this great job. So we went out of stock on that book and we now have it in and people are ordering it like crazy. If you would like a copy of it, and if you have been a previous owner of the 3rd edition, you can get the 4th edition for 50% off by tearing out the title page, sending that in to us. You can call in an order. We'll get it going to you and you can send in that page as a proof of purchase and 50% off. And a lot of updates in the book, a lot of little changes, and you'll have the most recent edition.
Boy, that's great. 50% off. And kudos to Leonard and Lorena. I know this is your passion project, but I mean, what a huge amount of work to update that, right?
Yeah, a lot of work.
The Douglas book is really a great companion to the Waggoner. The Douglases investigated every little nook and cranny where you could possibly anchor. So that's the benefit there that you have beyond just the convenient anchorages and the pretty anchorages. You also have all of the options if you need to duck in for weather, want to know where the closest best protection is, they've got it. So,
or if you just want to get away from everybody else, they've got all those little nooks and crannies covered and you can go in there with some confidence of knowing what where you're going to be going and what the anchoring will be like.
Yeah. That's a great offer. Thanks for that, Mark. And thanks to Leonard and Lorena for everything you do to keep it updated. Huge project there. I want to transition. We talked about the European green crab last week, and there have been some sightings. And I know you had mentioned, hey, let's keep an eye out. This is a pretty big deal. Kind of had some fun with it, but it is serious. And, I'd asked to get a picture. So, to help identify it, I think you came up with a picture, didn't you?
We've got several photos here to show. Leonard's going to call those up for us.
That one, wrong one.
And get the right one here.
As soon as I find the right one here.
While you're queuing that up, I have a big question. Are they edible? Should we, when we find them, should we throw them in the stew pot?
No, actually, it is illegal to be in possession of a European green crab. And if you do sight one, you are to take a photo, record where you found it, and put it back where you found it, and let the folks know you've discovered this in Washington waters, you can report your finding to crabteam@uw.edu.
No.
And in BC, you can report at AIS-Pacific@dfo-mpo.gc.ca. And so they have been cited in BC. As far as we know, they've not reached Southeast Alaska as yet. So
Okay.
keep an eye out and report those, take a photo, put them back and report those if you see them. They're not very good looking creatures for sure. I don't think you would want to eat one anyway. To identify them, you'll find 5 very sharp points on the side of each eye, and they're a yellowish greenish color.
No.
So looks like we can't get those photos
Yeah,
up for you right now.
I'm having a share screen problem with my other one. Okay, sorry.
I just want to mention Schelleen joined us.
Okay.
Thank you. I know you were fighting traffic to make it. We're going to coming over to you in a couple of minutes to talk about the Boats Afloat Show and to talk about Race Week. So I'm thrilled that you were able to join us. I know you were driving like a maniac through Seattle traffic today because of our president visiting Seattle. So thank you. And we're not ignoring you, but we're going to get over to you in a little bit.
Perfect. Thank you, Mark.
There we go.
Got 'em. Here we go. We've got the pictures for you of the invasive European green crab.
Wow.
Wow. They are ugly. You're right. I don't want to eat one.
Forget that. Yeah, boy. Okay.
Yikes.
The elusive European green crab has been sighted on Waggoner Webcast Live. Thank
Yeah,
you.
we'll have to keep on this story.
Stay tuned. Okay. Next up, Washington State Parks with proposed plans for Blake Island. Leonard, what's the latest here?
Well, Blake Island is, of course, in the Puget Sound area, is a very popular anchorage with people, anchorage and also buoys. And also there's a marina there, a small marina. That's public, it's a marine park. And it hasn't been updated. It hasn't been dredged. It's silting in. And Parks Department is planning to do some work on that. They have 3 different alternatives that they're considering, and they're opening that up for a public meeting, and that's 1 week from today. The meeting starts at 6 p.m., runs until 8 p.m., so somehow they're gonna step over the top of our program, but a reminder that our programs are recorded, so if you happen to go to this meeting, the meeting is in Bainbridge, and you can do that in person, or you can do a virtual meeting on that. They have 3 alternatives, and they're looking for comment on the 3 alternatives. Briefly, the 3 alternatives, one of the alternatives is to do nothing, which probably is not the best one. In fact, if you read their document and their summary on it, it sounds like they don't recommend that. The second is to rebuild the docks there with more slips and more space there in the same footprint that is in there right now. And the third option is to expand that footprint, change the entrance channel that comes into the marina area to the slips. And so again, they're looking for comment on that. We're going to put on the chat, we're going to put a link in there for you to go to the summary document on the Parks Department. And there's also information there about the meeting, specifically where the the meeting is being held and how you can join that meeting virtually.
They also have very detailed maps of each option, or option 2 and 3. So they'll show you what they're considering, and you can make comments online. So be sure and visit that.
Again, we'll put that in the chat so that you can click on that and go to the summary document.
Great. Thanks for the update there. With Earth Day 2, what's the latest on the new liquid natural gas terminal or LNG terminal in BC, Lorena?
Yes, it's very interesting. Of course, Earth Day is tomorrow, the 22nd, and this ties in nicely with that topic. The Wood Fiber, which is a subsidiary of Pacific Energy Company, they're constructing a liquefied natural gas export terminal near Squamish, BC, which is in Howe Sound, beautiful Howe Sound. It's up on the north end. And the facility will be powered with renewable hydroelectricity, and it's said to be the lowest emission LNG export facility in the world. The company is licensed to export liquefied natural gas to Asia to replace the coal-fired electricity. So that's a good thing to replace coal.
Well, that
And
sounds good. That sounds good. You know, those energy companies obviously have a lot invested in this, so it's good to hear it's kind of trending that direction. Mark, I talked about the Alaska Flotilla coming up, and this is your next adventure. I want you to share a little preview with us. And also, I know that you still have a couple spots available on this, and it sounds so tempting. I mean, if my April or my April and May wasn't so booked solid, I might join you, but tell us what's going on.
Well, thanks, Brian. Yeah, the Alaska Flotilla, the Waggoner Flotilla, is going to be leaving on May 16th from Anacortes. We're all going to collect here on the 15th and have a little bit of a celebration the night before we leave. And then at about 6 or 7 o'clock the next morning, we're going to take off and head north, first into British Columbia, into the Gulf Islands, and make a couple stops there and continue up. And the whole idea to this flotilla is fun and safety. And we'll have 10 boats going. And Brian, as you mentioned, we have room on the mothership. The mothership will be a 65-foot marquee yacht that'll be going up with our friend Dave Ryan, who's the owner of that boat, and he's offered it as the mother vessel. And so we'll be having events all along the way, whether that be a meal event. Some of them will be a potluck, some of them will be a special dinner. We'll have speakers, all kinds of things. And if there are two people who want to join along and don't have a boat or don't want to take their boat up, they can take and share the expenses in one of the cabins of the mothership and join us and get to experience what it's like to go up the entire Inside Passage. And that'll be about a 3-week trip. We should get there about June 1st or 3rd, depending on weather. And should be a fun opportunity. So anybody who is interested in doing the ride along in one of the cabins can call our office, the Waggoner office, at 360-299-8500, or email us at info@waggonerguide.com, and I'll give you a phone call and give you more details, talk to you about it, let you know how much fun it's going to be. And we'll also be reporting back for this show as we go. I'm hoping to have internet coverage along the way, and you'll get to meet some of the people that are on the trip, and it should be a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to it. Granted, I loved the Virgin Islands last week, but my other love is the Inside Passage. So,
yeah. What an opportunity too. I think what's great about the flotillas, obviously with you leading the way, nobody knows that trip better than you do. And for people who haven't done it, right? The safety, the security of being in a flotilla, you know, it's a guided trip. I mean, that's pretty cool.
It's fun. It's I wouldn't say that I'm the only one who knows that. Leonard and Lorena are my experts. They provide me with some of the direction. But it is interesting, and the weather planning is something that we spend a lot of time sharing with everybody. It's a one-way trip. We're going up to Ketchikan and then on to Juneau. And people often ask me, well, how do I get home? And my answer is always, if we haven't taught you enough of how to get home from Alaska by the end of this trip, then we failed. And we'll work with you and teaching you everything we know, but a lot of emphasis on safety and the weather. So yeah, Brian, it's going to be an interesting trip. First mate on my trip will be Margaret Palmert, who does a lot of teaching around the area and is a true expert. She and I have been doing this. We think we need to count. I think it's 8 or 9 years, and really enjoy imparting all of this information and training while we're cruising up the Inside Passage.
Boy, no better way to do it. So 2 spots left. Reach out if you'd like to join and ride along. Let's talk now about BC Marina Updates. Lorena, I know you've got a lot to cover here, Leonard as well. So I want to hand off to you for these Marina Updates.
You bet. People are quite anxious to head across the border this season and visit these marinas. These are some of the things that are taking place. Silva Bay Resort in the Strait of Georgia on Bedwell Island. Construction of the new hotel and pub and restaurant is currently underway on the uplands. So the uplands are closed, but there's plenty of moorage to put in a reservation. It gets busy. There's also anchorage in the area, and Page's Marina, of course, is next door. So that's another option. Todd Inlet near Butchart Gardens, Capital City Yacht Club will once again have their volunteer staffed float there starting May 15th, and they can help answer questions about the trails in the area and anchorage and other sites to see. Secret Cove on the Sunshine Coast is under new ownership, and it opens May 20th over the Victoria Day long weekend. Moorage, fuel, and the store will be open, and they anticipate opening the popular Upper Deck restaurant that same weekend. And Lagoon Cove in the Broughtons, they're now accepting reservations for the season. Do keep in mind, though, that they set aside half of their dock for non-reservation arrivals. And then,
Hey, Lorena, not to interrupt you, but I just did, but are they going to have their prawns every afternoon at Lagoon Cove?
we believe they will. Yes, that's a long-held tradition, and they head out and gather prawns for a happy hour at Lagoon Cove.
They are delicious. They're pulled out of the water the same day, and they go boil them up, and it's part of a potluck that, oh, it's fantastic.
Yes. And then Echo Bay Lodge and Marina, it's another popular destination. It was purchased by local tribes, and the store and moorage is open, and they are currently improving trails in the area for interpretive ecotourism type trail. They'll have signage, and it'll lead you to a midden, the site of an older village, and it will also connect to Billy Proctor's museum. And yes, Billy Proctor is still with us. He's getting up in years, but he's still there and welcoming guests. Village of New Vancouver, it's a tiny village in the Broughtons. They will remain closed for 2022. Village Island, however, they are open. That's the site of an old native village. You can go there to see the ruins, and to go ashore or use their dock is by permission only. And you need to email them at communications@mamalakula.ca. That's in our updates table online. It's also in the Waggoner guide. And so again, fill out the permission form that they send you. And the tour is $20 per person. They have folks there in the summer to give you a in-person tour, or if they're not there, you can tour on your own, again, by permission. And then Alert Bay, you missed the Cultural Center on Malcolm Island, located off the north end of Vancouver Island, are open for the season, and in the summers are open daily. It's a wonderful center to see. It's a collection of historic native artifacts. And last one here, McKenna Marine Park and Ramsey Hot Springs north of Tofino is currently closed, and they're still deciding, the band is still deciding if the hot springs will be open or remain closed for 2022. So we'll keep you posted on that.
And that's on the west coast, Vancouver Island. And then further, the Dawson's Landing on the North BC coast area, just north of Cape Caution. Dawson's Landing is open, and general store is open, the fuel dock is open, everything's going. And if you haven't been there, if you haven't had the opportunity to stop there, and if you're into aviation, as I know Mark and I are, this is the place. If you've never seen the Grumman Goose pull up to the Dawson's Landing docks, it's a sight to behold and certainly a photogenic opportunity. So head there to Dawson's. In that same area, Fury Cove, and that's in Penrose Marine Park, we mentioned last week, but it's worth repeating that the Fury Cove is closed at this time. The Penrose Island Marine Park is open, so there are other anchorages there, but Fury Cove remains closed at this time. The ghost town of Ocean Falls in Cousins Inlet, the moorage is open for 2022. Everything's going to be running. The ice cream store is open. Water's available at the docks. The gift store will likely be open. The sad news is that nearly Norman is passed away this last winter and will not be there, obviously, this season. But
he was quite a character and a big part, even though Ocean Falls is a ghost town, there's still people that live there, and he was a major character of the town. He's the one that started the museum and collected all of the items from the people that once lived there. And he was always called Nearly Normal Norman.
And apparently the museum is planned to be open, and someone else is going to be running that this season. Shearwater, further up the north coast, it appears that everything is open on that one, including the fuel dock, the grocery store, and we're not talking about the convenience store, but the full grocery store that is in the same space with the post office, and also the liquor store are going to be open at this. It looks like they're going to be open. The boat yard is open and ready for business. Harbor Master is going to be available after May, and we'll be taking reservations. The bar and the grill is open at Shearwater as well.
And the bar and grill currently, they tell us that proof of vaccination is needed. So we suggest being sure, take masks along on board and COVID tests just in case things could change. But for now, bar and grill at Shearwater is asking for proof of vaccination.
Further up the coast, Hartley Bay on the mainland, BC, the fuel dock is open, and that's it's open for residents and non-residents. But the village, they're still making a decision as to whether that's going to be open for guests or not. So at this point, assume that it's going to be closed. Kasan Village, and that's up in the southeast Alaska, just west of Ketchikan, and the village is open. The museum is open, and they're open for tours. The dock is open, and the whale house and totems are open for viewing. Not sure on the cafe yet whether that's going to be open. A reminder that when you're coming into this is on your way back down, or as you're coming back in Prince Rupert, the lightering dock, the customs dock is gone at this point. The customs dock most likely this season is going to be at Cow Bay Marina, or any one of the other marinas that's listed in CBSA is a clearance point. And then last, there's the Port of Sydney back down here in the Gulf Islands area. And that one, there's a BC boat show going on, and that will limit the amount of guest moorage space, severely limit that from May 9th through the 16th. The show goes from the 12th through the 15th of May. And again, that's the BC Boat Show. And the 9th through the 16th, it's going to be tough to get guest moorage there at the Port of Sydney. That's the list of the updates.
Hey, one question that keeps coming up, and I once a day I seem to get an email or phone call, and they keep asking about Bedwell Harbor. Poets Cove Resort is right there. There's a former customs location there. And I think what we're pretty much hearing, just so everybody knows, is that customs office will not be open this summer. And we're recommending you consider going to Van Isle. Certainly if the Sydney Boat Show is going on, the Van Isle Marina will be the better place to go.
Bedwell Harbor is a seasonal customs clearance, and we just checked online to see if it's listed yet as being open for 2022. It's still not listed as open, but we'll keep watching that and may open it later.
But agreed, as Mark pointed out, it's probably best not to plan that you're not going to stop there. A reminder that if it does open, this goes back to something we had in the last one. There is a no-go zone for whales, and that's off of the west side of North Pender Island. And if you happen to go into Bedwell Harbor and come back out. Do not transit that area. Stay out of it between June and September 30th.
Yeah.
And they're fining people for that one. So stay out of that area.
And the fine's like $3,000, right? It's not.
Yeah, it was not.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks for that update. And with that, it's time to welcome Schelleen Rathkopf. And I know, Lorena, I want to hand off to you to let you welcome her.
Yes, well, we're so glad to have Schelleen with us. She is the boat show director for Northwest Yacht Brokers Association, and she's going to be telling us about the brand new Spring Boats Afloat Show in Seattle. She also heads up and organizes the Race Week in Anacortes, which will be held in June. So welcome, Schelleen.
And Schelleen, you're going to need to unmute yourself there if you in the lower right corner, lower left
Can you hear
corner.
me now?
Yes, we hear you.
Okay, well, thank you, Lorena, and of course, Leonard and Brian and Mark. Thank you so much for having me join you tonight. It was a tough trip to get here through the Biden motorcade, but I'm just thrilled to be here with all of you. And I'm pretty much sure, Mark, I'm going to sign up for that trip with you and Margaret up the Inside Passage. So when I'm all done, you know, producing boat shows and Race Week, I'm gonna find you guys, and we're gonna just
Please
cruise
do.
the
We'd
Inside
love to
Passage.
have you along.
Thank you. Well, yes, so we have some exciting new developments with the Boats Afloat Show. As many of you already probably know, the Northwest Yacht Brokers Association made the decision to do away with the 10-day boat show in January and produce 2 4-day events in April and September each year. So that is the new game plan. So we're going to continue producing an April show here on South Lake Union. We'll continue to produce the September show on South Lake Union. And the exciting things that are going on right now in South Lake Union is Vulcan is just pumping a ton of money into the redevelopment of Chandler's Cove, which they have rebranded as Lake Union Piers. So the whole entire south end of the lake is getting this amazing facelift, which will bring back so many restaurants, bring back so many people. They're making it very park-like, very welcoming. And right in the middle of it, of course, is Northwest Yacht Brokers Association and the Boats Afloat Show. So we feel very honored to be a part of this whole plan. Vulcan and South Lake Union Piers actually came on board as a major sponsor of the Boats Afloat Show this year through the September show. So we're lucky to have their support. We're really happy about it. So I do have a map if you guys are curious to see. This is kind of the very first time we revealed the map of the show, but we have brokers participating from all over the region. Currently, we have 68 yachts that will be on display. In addition to the actual boats, we're creating what we're hoping to have as the crown jewel of the West Coast in terms of boat shows. We're creating more of a boat festival than just a standard boat show, and bringing in live music, bringing in floating bars, bringing in some really interesting food and liquor demos through some of our other sponsors. So I believe that the game plan going forward is just going to be very, very cool and very fun for people to come visit South Lake Union. So we're thrilled. We have a great team. We've got wonderful vendors that have been a part of this show for many years. I am truly honored to be at the helm as the new director of operations here. It's interesting because Boats Afloat Show, of course, has been around since 1987. And it was just a year later that, of course, Race Week was developed. So both of those programs have really been anchors in this region for the boating and sailing communities. And to be able to produce both of these wonderful events is just an honor and a privilege. And I love it. So we have a lot of good things to look forward to. I do have this map to share, which I'm sure, let's see, I'll share a screen here. You tell me if you guys can see this okay. And I'll walk you through the show.
Wow, we do see it. Wow.
Good, good.
Wow.
Yes, so you can see right now there's some construction going on, and there's some construction that's going to be going on for the next 3 years. When you come down to the Boats Afloat Show next week, I cannot believe I can say that now, but yes, when you come down next week, you'll see our team in hard hats decorated with our sponsor logos. But that entire building where the NIVA office used to be is wrapped in construction paper, the Tyvek. So it's going to be completely under the wraps. It'll take about a year for that building to be complete. And then they'll move on to, as you see here, buildings B and C. And then they'll move into the Daniels broiler area. But for the time being, you can see here we've got all of the major yacht brokers represented. Couldn't be more thrilled to have Hampton. Worth Avenue has 9 boats. Of course, Hampton has the 5. We have Seattle Yachts, which is bringing in 6, and Sundance has 7. The floating bar is the big vessel that you see at the very north end of the dock, where it says Waterways Olympic Star Bar and Concessions. That is a double bar there with some really wonderful concession charcuteries, some other grab and go sandwiches, salads. So when people come, they can walk the docks, grab a bite to eat, sit and have a drink. We're going to litter this whole area with picnic tables and tables and such, so people have a place where they can come and really enjoy Lake Union and being on the water. And I find it so interesting with this location, because I feel like once people kind of come and they find their boat, boat shows are still so relevant, because it's like stepping onto a boat and kind of finding your boat is so imperative. And I believe that is why boat shows are still so incredibly successful, is people can come, they can step on a boat, they can sort of experience something that they haven't experienced before, all in hopes of finding their boat. I have 2 kids, you guys, that are age 16 and 13. And those kids have grown up on the race committee boat at Race Week for 25 years. Like literally, that's how long we've been involved with Race Week. So when my kids were born, they were in the front pack on the race committee boat up in, at the time, Oak Harbor. Well, neither one of those kids, surprisingly, ever wanted to sail until they stepped, not, let alone race. They were not interested in boating until we got them on a Hobie 16. And it was like they found their boat. They got on that boat and they never looked back. And I really feel like boat shows are such a wonderful opportunity for people to go find their boat and find their adventure. And the whole premise of the Boats Afloat show clearly is a place where people can come and let their adventure begin. Because I do believe by stepping on a boat, whether you're upsizing or downsizing or changing or whatever it is, it's a wonderful way to experience the water and the community and the lifestyle. So we're really thrilled.
Schelleen, I think what you guys have put together with that yacht at the north end with food and beverages and so forth really is a special treat for down there. It's going to be very interesting. And I throw out that our own Brian Bushlack should be down there shopping for his boat. He's already told us.
There we go.
We're motivating him to go look at a boat.
Well, I can tell you that there are 68 real charmers down here, Brian. So I'd love to have you come down and we can meet up and walk the docks together. That would be really fun.
Oh, I'd love
Brian, they also have people to handle financing and insurance. So it's literally a one-stop shop where you can walk around this show and take care of everything, including lessons for you.
Well, and that's absolutely right, Mark. And what's really special about the Northwest Yacht Brokers Association is dozens of these members have what's called the Certified Yacht Broker, Professional Yacht Broker Certification, CPYB. And it's an amazing benchmark for those in the industry who are buying and selling yachts and working with customers in that process. And it's because of that that you can come down and all of these brokers know the industry like the back of their hand. They can walk you through the process, as Mark said, of buying a yacht, maybe for the first time, or as he mentioned, the financing can be a big hurdle. And fortunately, we have folks on hand on the shoreside exhibitor list here that are part of that. So just being able to bring people together to solve what we all strive for, which is life adventure. At the Boats Afloat Show, you find those people. And it's interesting when you start putting faces with names and you realize that these people are just wanting to help you realize your dreams. It's awesome. And that's
Schelleen, those dates again, it's next week, isn't it?
It is. It starts on the 28th and runs through May 1st. And then we kick it off with a big VIP party on the night of the 27th. So we're in full production mode right now.
That's awesome. You know, if I did buy a boat, I would need Mark Bunzel to wrangle a slip for me somewhere. So Mark, what's the status there in Anacortes?
It's tough, Brian. It's tough. Slip space is one of the challenges, to be honest. There is slip space out there, but it's tough to find.
Yeah.
And Brian, you buy the boat, and Leonard, Lorena, and I will work to find you a slip for it.
Oh my gosh. See, Brian, you cannot walk away from that one.
I know.
Pretty big
No pressure.
offer.
No pressure.
Hey, I've got the gang at Sundance. They've been on speed dial for like the last year. So I'm sure that they'll be calling me again. So that great report. It's exciting to hear about these changes because I mean, it just gets better, right? I mean, this is going to be a great event.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, we've worked really hard and I think it's definitely kicked it up to the next level and it will continue to just build on itself each and every year until we have taken over the entire south end of the lake.
That's awesome.
Great.
That's awesome. Thank you for fighting traffic to join us here. And time to wrap.
She's not done. She's got one more thing to talk about. Her
Oh.
baby, Race Week.
Oh, yes. Okay, yes, Race Week is coming up as well. So right after the Boats Afloat Show, we go into full production mode up in Anacortes. Of course, you know, I've owned this event since 2014. And we moved the event from Oak Harbor in Penn Cove back in 2019 was our last year there. And the plan was to, of course, go up to Point Roberts, Washington. But then COVID hit. And that was 2 border crossings. And we realized what a vulnerable community Point Roberts is, despite how beautiful that area is. So we started back at the drawing board and chose Anacortes, which was hands down the right choice. Anacortes is stunning. It has wonderful shoreside for the racers. We literally take over all of Sea Dock for the duration of the week. They're out racing buoys and distance racing off the shores of Buenos Island, off that northeast shore. So it's a wonderful event. Last year was our first year in Anacortes, and people absolutely loved it. The race area was absolutely gorgeous. So we're back again in June 20th through the 24th. So if you see all the sailboats down there, come say hello, because that's where I will live for a good week of my summer every year.
That's awesome.
Good.
I apologize. I got so excited about Boats Afloat, I cut you off on that. So sorry.
Oh, yeah, I think I got a lot of things going right now, but yeah, they're all really good things to help grow boating in this region. You know, between the sailboat racing with Race Week and that longevity and history, combined with a wonderful yacht program that will only continue to build. I just feel really, I just feel like I'm in the right space for this. This is such a great region to be producing a show like Boats Afloat Show, that it's just going to be successful from now and forever. It's really a gem.
Well, we appreciate everything you do, and I know this is a year-round effort. So thanks for giving us a preview and
Of
sharing it.
course.
Looking forward to it.
Thank you. Well, yes, you guys need to come down and we'll walk the docks together and find that boat for you.
Okay, it's a date. It's a date.
Okay.
Thanks for joining us.
All right. Good.
Hey, Lorena, I know you've got a quick preview of our show next week. Hard to believe that April's wrapping up already. April 28th, our next show, a full-blown edition of the webcast. What do you have for us?
Well, and before we get to that, we do have a question in the question and answer. And someone is asking, is there going to be a list of boats that are at the show, i.e., for example, new, used, size? Really looking forward to the boat show, they're saying.
Yes, in fact, there should be a list of all the boats on the website currently. Anybody can also send me an email at the Northwest Yacht Brokers Association, and I'm happy to send out the list. I have to say it has changed. There's been some shuffle last minute. You know, it's interesting in this industry. So many people did not know what they were going to have available for the show. And inventory has been a really big challenge, you guys, for so many of the brokers. Nobody really knows because post-COVID, of course, people are loving their boats. It's like the RVs. Everybody wants that island and wants that place. So people weren't selling. They're all wanting to buy. So it's a really hot market. And the brokers now, things are starting to really loosen up. So we had a couple of last minute signups in just the last couple of days. And then we had a couple of boats that left the show because they were purchased and put under contract within a week of being listed. So it's an interesting market right now for the boat sellers and the boat buyers, but we're confident that Boats Afloat Show will continue to just draw out the best of the best. So there will be something there for everyone.
Is that right, Schelleen? BoatsAfloatShow.com.
Yes, Schelleen. Well, you can do info at Boats Afloat Show. The website is boatsafloatshow.com. If you want to send me a personal email, my first name at northwestyachtbrokers.com. NW Yacht Brokers, plural.com.
Right.
Yeah.
That's great, Schelleen. Thank you so much for
Oh,
coming
of
on tonight,
course.
fighting presidential traffic to get here.
I would do anything for you, Mark. So, you know, Biden has nothing on you and Brian and Marina and Leonard. I'll tell you
Thanks.
what.
I'm flattered. Thank
I
you.
would have gotten out of my car and started running even with my bad knee to make this time with you guys. So
Well, you made it. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, thank you for joining us. Great update there. And Lorena, what do you have for us next week?
Next week we have Bob Lindahl, and yes, it's the same Lindahl, Cedar Homes. He's an avid boater, and he is the kind of the guru of the navigation rally for this region. He's going to explain to us what the navigation rallies are all about, how they work, who can join. And they have a special rally this year going to Southeast Alaska. So we look forward to hearing from him. He has a great presentation and slides and the how-tos all about the navigation rallies. And I know there's some other events on the 28th, but if you have a partner, one can tune in to Waggoner and the other one can go to the other event. And do remember that our programs are recorded, so you can always watch it later.
Yes, they are. Great reports, great updates. Mark, great to have you back with us. Leonard and Lorena, great to have you again as well. Holding down the fort as always in Anacortes. Schelleen, thank you for joining us. Thanks to everybody out there. We'll talk to you and see you again next weekend, same time, same place, right here on Waggoner Webcast Live.
Good night, everybody.
Thank you. Bye.